money. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Peace and blessings. It is Monday, June 17th. And welcome to the Cold World Podcast. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy this episode.
It's the ghost of Peter Rosenberg. You get your melanini if you know the word. Better light a joint if you know the time. If you ever seen a cheddar, then you know the sign. You just gotta show them to me now. Guarantee before the day is over any day. Arsenal of firearms, a whole lot of them. 6 feet thick in the dirt, it's all out of them. God is kinda upset, devil proud of him. Niggas only get away with what you allow with them. Exit wounds, hope that you never stop bleeding. Funerals balance shit out when it's uneven. Sucker niggas always live for some reason. Millions on uncut dope for one season. Yeah, we ain't have too much luck. All I'm trying to ask niggas is who wants who? It's the ghost of Peter Rosenberg. You get your melanini if you know the word. Better light a joint if you know the time. If you ever seen a cheddar, then you know the sign. It's the ghost of Peter Rosenberg. You get your melanini if you know the word. Better light a joint if you know the time. If you ever seen a cheddar, then you know the sign. Yeah, I'm cool, but I'm petty as fuck. I'm the type to beat his ass when he said it's enough. Roll a J, take a puff. Underground, but I'm over the top. Enough's enough now. Fuck the pigs, over the slot. I'm like Stallone with the hat back, over the top. But I don't arm wrestle. I atom bomb wrestle. I'm a nuke when I'm in the booth. I'm a bronze vessel. Have you seen a brown mutant? I can look in the mirror and the pitch black dog, see it versus shine through it. I can kill an industry, I put my mind to it. I can look at the sun and see a rhyme to it, and the moon too. Know why I'm aligned to it, yeah.
During yesterday's podcast, but I had heard an interview. I had talked about this kind of briefly, but not in depth. So I was just gonna take a couple minutes to talk about that now. Excuse me. But like I was telling you, I had heard this interview. I was watching the news, and I heard them interviewing. This is local Milwaukee news, and they were interviewing this dude. This black dude, younger cat. Like I said, he looked like he was probably like in his early 20s. Dude was probably between about 20 and about. He couldn't have been no older than like 23, 24, around in there, right? And it was here in Milwaukee, and they had asked him, basically about the election and shit, like, what he was thinking and stuff, And they had asked him about Trump, and he was saying how he liked how Trump just kind of told it like it is. Just kind of says what's on his mind and shit. Like, he was attracted to that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, yeah, I like that. And he doesn't hold anything back. And he just says it how it is. And I'm thinking to myself, dog, first of all, okay, let me try to analyze and figure out what's on this black dude's mind. Like, dude, okay, so you're black. And if you're willing to vote for Donald Trump, you're sitting here saying you like his rhetoric and what he says and all that shit, then that can only mean one of a few things. That means that I'm talking about this individual that I'm talking about that they interviewed. So this brother just don't care about racism. He doesn't care about Trump calling black people, you know what I'm saying? Calling their country shitholes, throwing toilet paper at Puerto Ricans. Didn't want to give an apology to the Central Park 5. Didn't want to rent to black people. He either don't care about the racism as much. I'm talking about the black and brown people that are willing to vote for Donald Trump. it can only mean one of a few things. It means that those people don't care about racism. They don't think when he's talking and he's being racist towards people, I feel like people don't feel like he's talking about them specifically. Oh, he's not talking about me. He's not talking about my family. Yes, the fuck he is. Yes, he is. When he's talking about migrants and immigrants and how they're rapists and terrorists, yeah, he's talking about you and your family. Figure it out, right? So if you have an individual that's black or brown, and they don't care about the racism and all that Trump spews, that means they either are unaware of it, which means, because there are some people, right, and this is the thing. This is my analysis on that. This is what I really believe some of that is. For the black and brown people that are voting for Trump, it has to be this. So you're either unaware of it, because there are people that just, they live their lives. They're not totally in tune with like all the everyday stuff, the ins and outs, what these candidates are saying, who they support, all, their history, their all that, right? They don't know that stuff. Sometimes people that just be hearing sound bites, real in your mind, you know what I'm saying? He's saying all this stuff, and you're like, man, dude, don't hold no punches. He's saying this, he's saying that. He's not talking like a politician. But here's my thing. Here it is right here. So for black people, right, that are willing to vote for dude. Because just think about it. Think about this. Because I was trying to analyze, okay, so let's say this black dude that they interviewed, right, let's say he lives in the hood. Let's say he lives in the hood, right? And let's say that he doesn't experience a lot of white people. Just throughout his day. Remember how I was saying about how, like, some white people are oblivious to, like, black conditions and, like, just our lives and what we go through, our experience. Like, they may not have any black friends, may not have any black coworkers, no black family, like, no one black around them in their world, right? So you're oblivious to it. You're just naive to everything. That could be true, too, for some black people that maybe live in a hood or never really go outside a certain area. You know what I'm saying? Only consume a certain type of entertainment or whatever. It's kind of the same thing. Just picture that. Picture a 21, 22-year-old, 23-year-old young black dude that lives in the hood that doesn't really ever go outside the hood very often, unless it's to places like the grocery store, the gas station, to a friend's house, to a girlfriend's house. Just stuff, like just random things and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And if you're not watching the news and all that kind of stuff, so you're just kind of out of touch with all that kind of stuff, right? If you're not hearing, if you're not watching the news and you're not hearing Donald Trump say the racist things or, spew all the bullshit and all that stuff, if you're unaware of that, and if you're not really going outside your area or outside your neighborhood, you're just kind of confined in a certain box where there's mostly black and brown people, you know what I'm saying? Then when are you experiencing the racism? Because keep in mind, you're not in white spaces. If you're somebody black or brown and you're just staying kind of tucked in the hood and you're not venturing out, you're not going out to the suburbs, you're not going out to the rurals, you're not working in these white spaces, you're not, mingling and kicking it and talking to white people and stuff like that, you're not experiencing the racism. You're not, you know what I mean? They're not saying these things to you. They're not being, indirectly or saying insensitive things or saying racial shit to you because you're not around them to experience it. You know what I mean? So then when somebody asks you about racism, you're kind of like, you know what I'm saying? And then you hear this person up here talking this stuff, talking this aggressive ass bullshit, talking about how he don't care about this, talking about blah, blah, blah. And you're hearing that, you're like, man, dude speaking my language. Dude don't care. He just says whatever. He just calls it how it is, blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? See, I know how white people treat black people. I know how white people treat brown people because I've been around them enough to experience it. I've been in white people's homes. That's why I was saying, like, black and brown people, we understand white people easier than they understand us. Because we've had to spend times in their worlds. We spend times in your schools. We date your women. We work at your jobs. We go to your schools. What black school are most white people going to? If you're somebody white, you're getting up for your day. I know I've said this a lot of times. Let's say you're waking up. It's what, Monday morning? Think about what your day is going to entail. Who are you going to be around? Who are you waking up to in your house? Is there anyone black in your house? Does your kid, if you have kids, does your son or daughter have a black girlfriend or boyfriend? Does your black son or daughter have any black friends? And when's the last time somebody black has been to your house? When's the last time you've been to somebody black's house? What do you consider that black friend? Is it somebody you've known for 20 or 30 years? Is that black person you call a friend? Do you go to their house regularly? Do you know their family? Do you guys kick it and hang out? Do you know their family history? Do you know their brothers and sisters? Like, you know what I'm saying? People would be killing me with that shit when you'll have like a white person and like, let's say you have like this white lady. Let's say she's in her 50s. She'll be screaming up and down, oh, I have black people in my... So her scenario, her black experiences is her white daughter having a black boyfriend that comes to the house once in a while, and that's it. So then all of a sudden they know black people. Oh, my daughter's dating a black guy. He's really cool. But that's all she knows about him. That's it. She don't know shit else. Let dude get out of line. Let that black boyfriend do or say something that white mom thinks is intolerable. Because a lot of times white people are just tolerating black people. Even when they hire you for jobs and shit like that, they'll, consider themselves taking a chance on you. And then as soon as something goes wrong or whatever, it doesn't work out, then they get to, oh, I knew it. I knew I didn't want to hire that fucking nigger. I knew it. I knew better. I shouldn't have. That's how they'll be talking sometimes. Yeah. If you're somebody that lives in the hood, or even you don't even have to live in the hood, if you're just somebody black and you don't experience a lot of white people on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? And most of the, what you're learning about or like the content, the media, all, pretty much everything you do, your friends, family, everything you do and watch is black, and you're not getting any kind of white experience, you know what I'm saying? Negative or positive, then you're not experiencing the racism. I'm saying just like truly, like just up close and personal. You're not running into the disrespectful white person that works at the store that, treats you like shit. Or, you know what I'm saying? You're not getting treated like that because you're not around them. So then you don't think racism really exists. You see what I'm saying? But for people that are a little older, people that have been through it, that have, lived some life and have experience and have personal experiences and have been called the N-word and have been treated unfairly or, all that kind of stuff, right? We know what's going on, so we know what to look for. So a lot of it is just people just being naive and just uninformed about stuff. I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, like, what is that for a black person to either excuse the racism or just not care about it, there has to be some kind of reason for that. Because naturally, any black or brown person would be offended by any white person being racist or saying racial shit to them or their family. Like, that should just be a natural instinct. But for it not to be, that means there's something getting in the way of that. But yeah, I'm convinced that's what a lot of that is. It has to be. There's no other explanation for that. Unless a person just hates themselves and just doesn't like who they are. You know what I'm saying? But shit, fuck that. I love who I am. I love being Mexican and black. I love being an Afro-Latino. I love it.
First, Bakari, what explains this? Biden 70%, Trump in 2024, 21% of voters, a very high number. And then when you look at 50 and under, the numbers are dramatically different for any Democratic president that we have ever seen. These numbers.
Shout out CNN. It's Monday, y'all. Peace.
Poor polling. I mean, if you want to be honest about it.
Shout out Bakari Sellers.
Those numbers, then I truly believe that I can sell Harry this bridge in Brooklyn. I mean, that's just not happening. I think that people have to just level set a little bit, relax a little bit, stop hyperventilating. Donald Trump is not going to get 20% of the black vote. He's simply not. Black voters traditionally, as we go throughout this process, as you get to Labor Day, etc., a lot of black voters do come home to the Democratic Party. There are warning lights. I said it from the past 3 or 4 months about turnout. But I think that Harry and everyone else who are looking at these polls analyze this race incorrectly all the time. And the reason they analyze this race incorrectly is because Donald Trump isn't the biggest threat to Joe Biden. The biggest threat to Joe Biden is black voters staying at home. Black voters aren't going to all of a sudden under the age of 50 or however old they are because he gets, 4 or 5 unnamed rappers from Detroit or 4 or 5 unnamed rappers from the Bronx to support him. They're not going to all of a sudden, flock to Donald Trump. There is a threat, however, that black voters simply will stay at home because they feel sometimes like his policies passed in Washington, D.C. haven't necessarily touched their pockets. So I don't have the same shock and awe. I just think here we are in the middle of summer and things will stabilize and get back to norms as they always do.
But the numbers are the numbers, Bakari. I mean, are you saying just don't believe the polls, or are you saying you don't think these polls will be representative of the population once voting begins in November?
Oh, both. I think that traditionally, what we've seen over the past 8 years is pretty bad polling. And then I think what you've seen consistently since that time is individuals have a very difficult time acknowledging that we've had bad polling, and then the polling continuously gets worse. And so I think that's one of the issues that we have. But I mean, the Biden campaign they do have issues with African-American voters in terms of getting them to turn out to vote. That is a fact. That I was with Kamala Harris last week in Charlotte, North Carolina, and one of the things she was trying to do was ensure that she got black voters to the polls, particularly younger black voters. So they are working towards that. But Donald Trump's not getting 20% of the black vote. I can sit here and say that as a fact today.
I know you have a different opinion, just opinion, as your head is madly shaking. What are your thoughts on these numbers? And you've got Bakari and Joe Biden himself has sort of said he doesn't.
This dude right here that's about to speak is a black Republican. I just don't understand. This dude about to talk right now is a Trump supporter. I just don't fucking get it. This dude named Joseph Pinion.
Look, I think Democrats are in many ways trying to either poo-poo the numbers or they're trying to scare people into changing the numbers. The reality is a Republican Party that gets 20%.
See, here's the thing. When you're a Republican black person,
and the notion that Democrats
you're backing Donald Trump. You're supporting all that bullshit and you know he's a racist. I just don't fucking understand that. I don't understand that. So that makes me believe that some black people don't care about racism. What else am I supposed to fucking think?
They have told us every 4 years we're not allowed to talk about the fact that black schools are failing black families, that we have a 3-strand cord of despair from that failure in those schools that in many ways is driving the poverty, which leads to the criminal element. There is no Biden plan to make American communities more safe. There is no Biden plan to give broader access to school choice. These are issues that black families are tired of having placed on the back burner. And so whether it's Joe Biden spending $25 million to try to push a Bidenomics ad buy that ended up with them getting rid of the term Bidenomics, or him now trying to make this push on character, saying that I am the character candidate and President Trump is not, black people, I think, writ large, are beginning to wake up to the reality that we cannot continue to engage in politics the same way.
No, some of us aren't waking up. Because if we were waking up, some of our black and brown people wouldn't be willing to vote for Trump. So I don't know what the fuck this Joe's opinion dude's talking about.
Maybe they're not voting for Joe Biden, but they might not be willing to come out.
He's a land grabber sympathizer. That's what I call black and brown people that vote for Trump. I call them land grabber sympathizers.
Donald Trump has said over the years, which are just they're racist. Let me go to some of the things that he said over the years.
Thank you.
The mugshot, we've all seen the mugshot, and you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against. African Americans are getting slaughtered. Hispanic Americans are getting slaughtered. And these millions and millions of people that are coming into our country, it makes me sad, because I am the least racist person. I can't even see the audience because it's so dark. But I don't care who's in the audience. I'm the least racist person in this room.
He said a lot of different things that really were upsetting to black folks and white folks, frankly. How do you get over that? How does someone get over that?
I'll just say this. We're not in a election where you're saying this is the person who's perfect on race versus this is the person who's terrible on race. I think that we like to whitewash away the racial gaffes of the candidates when we believe in the underlying policies of that candidate. So whether it's Joe Biden talking about racial jungles 30 years ago and Kamala Harris having to remind people that that little girl on that bus you didn't want us on was me, or whether it's Joe Biden as recent as 2 years ago reminiscing about the good times he used to hang out in the cafeteria with all of those avowed racists in the United States Senate. Yes, there are plenty of comments that we can talk about from these presidents. There are people on the left who I think will probably take more issue with the racial legacy of Donald Trump. But most people, I think, are saying it is a pox on both houses. If you are someone who subscribes to the notion that racism is the original sin of this country, it is certainly not confined to either side of the political aisle. And that type of, I think, myopic approach to dealing with race is...
Well, then one should just not vote then.
And I think it's why you see people now...
So why wouldn't this dude not even vote then? Based off what he's saying, then he shouldn't vote at all.
It is not working. The numbers are eroding before our very eyes, and Democrats can ignore them at their own peril.
Akari, what are your thoughts on how he is seen by the black community after the comments he makes?
Listen, I just listened to my good friend not to actually answer your question, and I thought the dodging was pretty cool. I thought it was good. I thought your elocution was amazing. Look, the fact is Donald Trump uses racism as political currency. That to his point, this is baked into the cake of who Donald Trump is. I mean, we know Donald Trump is racist. So anytime you sit here and say, look, that guy over there is racist, don't vote for him, that's really not moving the needle. And so you're right when you talk about pointing out the facts and the words that Donald Trump uses and how he gets rid of, all of the diversity departments and civil rights departments and all the federal administrative departments when he was president of the United States. When you think about these things and you tie in the language that he uses, the fact is Donald Trump is not trying to woo black voters to the Republican Party. That's not what this is about. When you see him go to black churches or when you have Kwame Kilpatrick become a shell of himself and go out and endorse Donald Trump, that is not to show the world that black voters are voting for Donald Trump. What he is trying to do, though, is make himself more palatable to those college-educated white voters, to those independent voters, to those voters in the suburbs. That is what this play is about. This play is about moving that needle in the middle and saying, look, I'm having this group come to me or come back to me. I'm able to do to events in black churches, quote unquote black churches. And so you need to give me a second look. You need to see that this campaign is different than the past, and I'm more of an all-around candidate. And so I think that's what this is about, more so than a true play to get black voters all of a sudden to find a new home in the Republican Party.
That is a really interesting argument, Bakari. I will have to congratulate both of you for being so gentlemanly to one another in these difficult political times where we are always at each other's throats. So thank you both for coming on this. Maybe it's because it's Monday. I feel like on Friday this might be a little bit different. Friday struck down a ban on bump stocks. President Biden's trying to get Congress to make some action to sort of get rid of bump stocks. What do you think about
14 mass shootings in U.S. leave 9 dead and 70 injured. That's crazy.
Unlike any other developed nation or developing nation in the world.
This doesn't happen in other countries, and there is a reason. It's because they implemented some pretty strong gun regulations before hundreds of millions of guns got out into circulation. We're a country with 450 million guns, and that's more guns per people. Now, with the bump stock decision, bump stocks aren't really found in street crimes. There are about 500,000 of them in circulation, but it is indicative of an attitude toward the Second Amendment that seems to be prevailing in the Supreme Court, which is, gun rights over public safety. And we saw that in 2022 with the Bruin decision, where they actually changed the calculus for deciding Second Amendment cases, even though it didn't apply in the bump stock case. It was more about federal authority, federal agencies' authority. What we see is if it wasn't a gun law, if there wasn't a historical analog, if it wasn't a gun law 150 years ago, it's not part of our history and tradition of gun regulations, so we have to toss the regulation. We're seeing a lot of regulations, and we have a case coming up possibly this week where domestic violence, if you're a domestic offender, if you have a restraining order, the justices are deciding whether you might be able to have a gun. And this is how guns get in the wrong hands.
It was really interesting, and for those women and men who have survived domestic violence, it is terrifying to think about what happens if people who have been convicted of something like this. But then you also have red flag laws. Like when you see this, if the Supreme Court decides that they are going to allow those who have been convicted of domestic violence to have guns, the red flag laws, when it comes to mental health, do you see that being the next thing that is attacked by potentially the gun lobby?
Everything's on the table as long as you can put every gun regulation up to this history and tradition test. It's a crapshoot, really, where these laws are going to land. I mean,
let's see. We got some white entitled criminals here. We're gonna see what they're up to. Michelle sent me these video clips she wants me to play. Hey baby, I got the 2 videos you sent me. Those are from last night, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna record some of them.
Okay.
So thank you for that, baby.
Of course.
It's white crime time, and this is DVJ reporting.
Okay.
Here we go. This is courtesy of Michelle.
What's going on? Open up the door.
No, I don't have to without a warrant.
So what's going on? Just talk to us.
He hit me.
Who? I don't see anybody else. That's what I'm trying to say.
You don't see anybody else.
No.
You didn't just stop and date and talk to somebody?
I did not stop at date. I'm in West Milton. I'm West Milton PD.
Well, he did.
I don't think he did either. He's lying.
You're not allowed in my house without a
Well,
warrant.
right now I got to check your welfare because right now you're not making much sense. So I don't need a
I'm
warrant.
fine. My words are fine.
Okay.
I have.
Sitting there and you're
Play about 5 minutes of this, y'all.
Okay.
I'm fine.
That's fine. But
I'm
what's not
fine.
making sense is this other person. I don't know what this other person is.
My 2-year-old son is in there by himself.
Okay. So where's the other person at that you're talking about?
The other person that hit me? He's in Dayton.
Okay, what about right here? You just hit this car.
What car?
You want to come look? You hit the van. You want to come look?
I did not hit a van.
You can see right now where you hit it. That's what we're just trying to check up on you because you just hit a parked car. I'm not touching it. All right.
Don't go in my house. Where?
Right there.
This is loose. This is
You can clearly make that sure that. So when's the last time you used?
It's loose.
When's the last time you used? Let's be real. When's
Are
the
you
last time?
kidding me?
No,
Are
I'm
you
not.
assaulting me? I've been clean
What?
7 years. Slow your roll.
You need to calm down.
No, I've been
Get
clean
back here.
7
Get
years.
back here.
I've been Suboxone clean for 7 years. I've been clean.
Okay. Is anybody else in the house
My
that can
mom-
help take care of that child?
No, I'm not going to jail. Hey, Ned! Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Don't touch me.
But don't walk away from me.
Hey, Ned! Can I open the door and let him out?
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
You sit there and raise your fist at me again, and you're going to go to jail.
I didn't raise my fist.
You're raising your fist one more time, and you're going to jail. You understand me?
Hey, Ned! Door's on. Let me get the front door. You can phone?
Oh, I'll blow you go to weird.
Oh, I know you will. Hey, Ned! Hey, Ned! Hey, Ned! Hey, Ned! Hey, Ned!
She's looking. Is this the part where she
I would
couldn't
like
find?
to. If that's how my
How
mom
old
was
is Kaden?
calling for
2.
Jesus.
She couldn't find the 2-year-old baby in the house or something.
Wasn't even in the house.
Alright, y'all. I'm gonna let this keep rolling. I'm going to let Charlie out.
Nobody
so.
else in the house? Just
This
Kaden?
video is tripped
Yeah,
out, so
do you
keep
need to
listening.
see my
y'all.
insurance?
I don't need to see your insurance. I'd like to see Kanan. I'd like to make sure he's okay.
I need a ID card.
Okay.
Because I was going to go through the garage, but you threatened to put me in jail if I go through the garage.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I need you to stay out here.
Nope. That's not how this is working right now.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Can we go get Kanan and bring him out over here? Is there a dog up in there?
Yes. And
How mean is he?
they're fully licensed, registered.
Okay, but how
and
mean?
paid.
I don't want to hurt a dog. I want to know how mean he is.
Kanan! Can you hold here with me?
Sure. The dog's not going to be aggressive, right?
No,
Now just keep listening. Listen to all the
I just want to make sure I'm
Time.
not hurting anybody.
all the chances and all the different examples of white privilege that they provide her. Just pay attention. That's part of the reason Michelle sent this
You
video
want to check the vehicle?
for us to upload for the podcast.
Hey, door will be unlocked over here, too. I'm unlocking the door.
You don't have a search warrant. Don't open my door.
Okay, so let's find Kanan. Stay
Don't.
focused.
You don't have a search warrant.
Focus. Let's find Kanan.
And then when we find him, shut that fucking door.
That's fine. That's fine.
Kanan!
Watch the difference.
I just picked him up from, I just picked him up from down the street.
Okay.
You know,
Where you guys saw me get out of the car and go up and get, that's the babysitter.
Okay.
Come here. We gotta call your daddy because mommy's probably going to jail.
Good point, yeah.
like a drunk driving one, because those are the kind of the ones I've been recording.
I just put him in there.
Come on, Charlie.
Okay.
Is he in the car?
Nope. Where else would he be at?
He wouldn't be anywhere else. I just picked him up. You guys saw him pick him up, put him in his car seat. He did.
Well, I
2 streets over, I picked him up, put him in the car seat, and drove off. Well, I'm not stupid. She just gave him to me.
calling the babysitter right now? 1205, 1204 on me.
Dang it! Where the f*** is my baby? Dang it! The cops are here at my house, and I picked
Hey, can you respond to my location?
Kanan! I don't know! The cops just saw me pick him up and put him in the car, and now he's gone.
GPS.
Yes, bitch, they're 4D, 3D,
get it.
They're 3D, and he won't let me look in his car for my baby. No, I done went there. The cops watched me knock on the door, pick him up, and put him in my car.
We saw her get into the car over at the other house, and she beat. Was that the babysitter? Are you calling the babysitter? What's your name?
No, that's my cousin.
Okay.
Don't worry about my name.
What's your name?
Alright, I'll see you when you get here, because I'd rather you have my son than anybody else.
What is it?
Voltage. Voltage.
What's your name? Sierra, right?
No.
What's your name? No. What's the babysitter? Okay.
Yes. And she's watched my older daughter as well.
What's your name?
Call my mother.
I understand, but you're gonna have to identify yourself, okay? Who's your family?
My boyfriend.
Okay, look, here's what we have. We have private property accident. So we're gonna have to identify you. We need your information so we can move forward here. You understand what I'm telling you?
Just like, I got in an accident, there was an accident in this van and the lady hit me. But because I didn't have no license, they charged me. Is that my mail,
Are you Sierra Jones? Okay. There we go.
My mail. Anyway, my daughter, but no, it's my fault, right? I was parked. He came over and tried to park in front of me.
This guy?
No, the gray guy.
Dave?
And Dayton, he says that I hit him, and I was parked in front of my cousin's house. He pulled over and hit me. Do you want to see? Come here.
I just put in a message for the DVL task location for 1205. Do you need me to call her back?
We found her. She was reckless driving. By the time that I catch up to her, she's at North Street behind that flooring place. Now, I never saw the kid. I never see her get the kid, but she was out, gets in the vehicle. She leaves. We follow her here. She must have been booking it because we had lost her. She ends up hitting this car, so we're now at this point we're doing a welfare check on her since she hit the parked van. She's not making any sense. She can't find the kid. She believes that she's picked the kid up. I don't think she's picked the kid up, so we can't find her in the car. We can't find the kid in the house. But at this point, with her state, where she's not making sense, she's talking about some guy that it was some Mexican that hit her. There's obviously nobody else here. So I don't know. At this point, I don't know that we have charges. I don't know if there's anything we can charge her with, but with her not having a kid. Hey, Sarah, what's your birthday? Sarah?
If he would let me go get my stuff, I could give it to you.
Where's your stuff at?
In the safe.
Well, I mean, you just don't have. He says your birthday. You know your birthday, right?
I'm the victim here. I'm the victim.
Okay, let us figure out what's going on. Hold on.
They're home and take care of my kids. I don't go anywhere.
No 15. Sierra Jones. Okay, yeah. I think she's got, if you pull up some of the involvements on this, it's got her she's got a citation in there for DOS. Okay.
For what? For what? Excuse me, for what?
DOS. So he made contact with the kid. The kid was at school. The babysitter is picking up the kid right now. She's supposed to be coming here.
And I've never had any
She is suspended, so I'm going to charge her for that. I'm going to through FST's today when she shows up. See if she knows any emergency contact information for anybody else. Yeah. For the other kid. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Sarah. So right. What?
Can I call my mom, please?
Yeah, call your mom real quick. Yeah, that's. I'm not. Listen, we're having a conversation right now. Don't be backing away from me. Call your mom up real quick. The babysitter, I think, got keyed in, and she's bringing them here. So, but we're going to need to have mom take care of her. You're not capable of taking care of him right now.
I am fine. I didn't
You're not listening to me. You're not listening. You're going to start listening, or you're going to go to jail.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Get over here. We're walking away from you.
I'm gonna call my mom, but my phone
See how many times he said, stop walking away from me, stop walking away from me. Well, you keep letting, that's privilege. Those are white privileges right there.
Mom.
You got your mom on the phone?
I'm trying.
All right, we're gonna do that here in a minute. Come over here. Come over here.
I paused it for a minute. Yeah, tons of examples of white privilege when dudes tell them, stop walking away from me, stop walking away from me. She's literally, we're watching video last night. This lady was just walking all around the house. She was opening up dressers and closets and all kinds of shit.
Totally looked like an unmanaged household as well.
You what, baby?
An unmanaged household.
Very unmanaged. You see what she had on? She had on some straight up Walmart gear. Yeah. But then
a couple sizes too small.
And I don't know if they played the part yet where the cop said that she tried to say it was a Mexican or something that...
Oh, yeah, he just said...
Oh, he had just said that part?
To another officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, so the white lady was trying to say that a Mexican has something to do with whatever was going on, and like, dude was like, there's no Mexican even around, I think he said, or something.
Which I didn't even hear her say.
I didn't hear her say it, but I'm sure they didn't, some stuff was probably edited or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or maybe that was just some off body cam shit or whatever, but
that's
yeah.
True.
But you even seen that play out, this is off the record, but in the Casey Anderson, Casey, the girl that killed her daughter down there in Florida?
Yeah.
Casey Anthony case. She tried saying it was a Mexican maid or whatever that had kidnapped her kid. Yeah, the Mexican babysitter, Juanita or whatever she could. Juanita's not even a fucking Mexican name. That's a black woman's name. But I think, didn't she say it was Juanita? Or did she? I forgot the name she gave the Mexican lady, but...
The name doesn't even exist.
Doesn't even exist. Zoela, yeah, or something like that. Yeah, it's a good one. But there it is. It's like another example. They're just coming to me. Jesse Anderson here in Milwaukee, over there at Northridge, TGIF Fridays. Y'all can go look that story up. There's a tie to we're all over the place now. Jesse Anderson, what happened? It was the TGIF Fridays.
He killed his wife, and he said that a black guy tried to carjack them or something.
Right.
And sometimes I wonder...
And he bought the hat from the black dude the day before or some days before. And then the black dude saw the shit on the news and he saw the hat. And he was like, dude bought that hat for me the other day. So he was hoping there'd be DNA in it or whatever and shit. And so try to accuse the black people. Yeah. And then Jesse Anderson ended up in the same prison where Dahmer was at.
And both were murdered.
By the same dude.
Because they were in the bathroom together or something.
They worked, yeah. Dahmer and that Jesse Anderson. Here's another not fun fact. Remember I told right before I went to boot camp. In this, there's a lot that ties in this. And you'll just see how prisons were overcrowded back then just by my story. So they sent me to Portage, which is Columbia Prison, but it's called Portage because it's in Portage. Anyways, it's a max joint, but they had a minimum barrack that they built onto there to hold people that were waiting to go to minimums or to go to boot camp and shit like that. So that shows you how overcrowded it was. If they created a barracks at a maximum prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways, so when I was at Porter's, but they still allowed us to have rec, obviously. So, you know, we were minimum, but we had rec a few days a week. So we went to the gym. So it was crazy when I was there. I'm like, dude, I'm literally in the locker room that Scarver killed Jesse Anderson and Dahmer and shit. That shit was crazy as hell when I was sitting in this. That was one of the reality shots for me. Something like that. I'm like, dude, you're literally in the same fucking locker room where Dahmer and Jesse Anderson got murdered. Like, dude, what world are you in? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I should be just reading about this on the news or seeing it, not literally kind of like, I'm literally in this prison. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, dude, like, you need to get shit together here. That shit was crazy. Just little, like, reality shocks like that. Those are, yeah, but, Scarver ended up killing her in that same prison. But getting back to the lady, she was trying to say that a Mexican person did it. So we'll get back to it now. I was about to cue the other one up. We got another one too that we're gonna play. That's like 38 minutes.
No, I don't have to without a warrant.
So what's going on? Just talk to us.
Battlefields in the mind. And don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. And the prize is the soul. So, let's be careful.
It's Prince. That was in 1999.
Of legislation that are sitting on Governor Lee's desk awaiting his signature. One of them is a bill that would expand death penalty crimes here in Tennessee.
Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse is joining us in the studio with an update.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. Now, this bill allows prosecutors to go after the death penalty when it comes to heinous crimes against children, like sexual assault of a child under the age of 12. The person convicted would also have to be 18 years or older. Supporters say this would act as a deterrent, while critics say it might make it harder for victims to come forward, especially if it's a loved one. Republican Representative William Lamberth disagrees, reading a letter from a victim.
Since he was my grandfather, I would agree to the death penalty even for him. He molested many generations, and this needs to stop.
It doesn't help them heal, and it also doesn't ensure that folks come forward. We can do the same thing by other means. There is no need to take this step. Of course, child rape is horrifying. No one should have to endure it.
Now, Governor Lee has 10 days to sign the bill, veto the bill, or if there's no signature, the bill becomes law. Stick with us both on air and online, and we'll let you know the governor's move on this bill. In studio, Peyton.
I would love to see that happen. Because there's a lot of white people's family situations are screwed up out here. And a lot of times it'll be these white people molesting these kids, raping them, incest sometimes and shit like that. They should get locked up. Now we got the governor of Maryland pardoning a bunch of marijuana convictions. About to see what they're talking about. Shout out CNN. Okay, here we go. I got the clip right here.
It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast, where Maryland Governor Wes Moore is making a major announcement. He plans to pardon 175,000 marijuana convictions in the state.
The state. That's good. Y'all heard that?
This is a responsibility
State.
that I take very, very seriously. And that is why this morning, with deep pride and soberness, I will pardon over 175,000 convictions Thank you all. We need to stop that so I can get you to sign your pardon. But I will pardon these convictions. All convictions related to the possession of cannabis and cannabis paraphernalia. Maryland legalized cannabis by referendum. This administration has stood up what many believe to be one of the most equitable and efficient adult cannabis market rollouts of any state in the entire country. In March, we conducted our first adult use cannabis licensing round, and all 174 licenses were awarded exclusively to social equity applicants. And to be clear, that's the first time that has happened in our nation's history. Yes. And yet, we know that legalization does not turn back the clock on decades of harm that was caused by this war on drugs. Legalization does not erase the fact that nearly half of all drug arrests in Maryland during the early 2000s were for cannabis. It doesn't erase the fact that Black Marylanders were 3 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis than white Marylanders before legalization. It doesn't erase the fact that having a conviction on your record means a harder time with everything. Everything. From housing to employment to education. It doesn't erase the fact that people who were arrested for cannabis 3 or 4 or 40 years ago still have those convictions on their records to this day. We cannot celebrate the benefits of legalization if we do not address the consequences of criminalization.
Country superstar Jamie Johnson returns to the rave July 25th.
Sorry about that country bullshit in there at the end. That was like a ad or something. That's good shit. They need to do that here in Wisconsin now, because now them people become voters as well. See how that works? That's good shit. That's a Democrat governor, Maryland. Nice work.
I'ma just remix y'all shit and get big off. Everybody whispering, all I hear is whispers. Bullets start whistling, blaming on whispers. Like they hear that money talk, then hear whisper. Just another pussycat in a minute's whiskers. Everybody whispering, all I hear is whispers. Bullets start whistling, blaming on whispers. Like they hear that money talk. What's the real deal? Hoodied up with the ill grill, getting mad high watching Kill Bill. You know both parts. I'm from a hood where they put you in the body bag to say they got the most heart. I stay composed like Mozart. Straight music, we can bump and thump just like a gold card. Stop, look and listen. Pause, watch and stare. Guns in the John G unit Rockaway. Yeah, they in high school, but they crips or they rules. Fly through soft and they try you. I seen mad drama. Is it bad karma? I don't know though. Stay moving in slow mo.
I'll always have my revolver on some since we cool, but I don't give a fuck. Keep talking, I'ma let that thing buck. Oh no, you don't want to know.
Red book, they rewrote the scripture. Not a culture vulture, culture shifter. Headshot, so I don't gotta hope it hit you. Yet still my life's like a motion picture. On the same road, just enhancing the route. As far as the bricks, I moved a substantial amount. Fake niggas is the cancer, cancel them out. You ready for whatever you gotta do if you the man of the house. Oh yeah. I dream big, used to hustle work right out of a fiend's crib. Made a little cash when he was down on the phone. Used to fall asleep and dream about the islands I own. Had an aircraft carrier to carry the jets. Fleet of the whips and all of the set. The quarterback bought the whole front line of Rolex. Perpetual peace, connect with the streets. Dissecting the beats till the lessons complete. And whoever try to test, know the weapons released. I dream big, took me a nap, it seemed big. Woke and lit the smoke, start spitting some mean shit. Helicopters and Cartiers, chicks in the green six and the white vibe. Was saying Melly Mel on white lines. Hedge fund money and pipelines. Leaving with your family, live out your lifetime. It was all a dream.